Hey, how you doing? I wanted to talk to you today about communication systems. So, I'm a cheap motorcyclist. We did the whole thing, my friends and I would be out and you point at the gas tank for, hey, I need gas. But eventually, you want to try something else and want to get a communication system. I looked into them, Sena and Cardo, and the big brand names. They're $300 to $500 each. I end up having to spend $1,000. One for me, one for my spouse, and then I have to convince all my friends to also buy a headset for $500. And realistically, that wasn't going to happen. So I started looking at other options, and this is what I found. I went on Aliexpress and found this brand called Freedconn. This is not my first headsets. We started out with the Freedconn T-Max, and it had a dial on it and the whole bit. Connect up to 6 people, Bluetooth. Range has been really good, about a kilometer between riders. It is Bluetooth. You have to stay in riding order. Like, you can't change positions. Like, you have to figure out who's going to be first and who's going to be last and where you are in the middle. So those worked really well for quite a while. And then newer ones started to come out, and so that's what I explored. So this is my wife's current one. This is the Freedconn FX. As you can see, nice and thin. That even does a fancy light thing. But you can connect your phone to it and obviously play music through that. It has FM radio. You can listen to radio if you want. And of course, then you can chat with your friends. And I think they're all the same, that they say they connect to 6 people. The nice thing is that the Freedconn units connect to all other Freedconn units. So you don't have to have FXs. You could buy the KY Pro, you could buy the T-Max, you can buy the Hero, you can buy the, R1 Plus or the R3. These are cameras, by the way, which I will get to in a minute. But you can buy whichever, and it will connect to the other units, and it makes it nice and flexible, so people can buy whatever features they want. This is about $80 Canadian. I bought extra headsets, even like speaker and microphone and so on, for $20. You're not in hundreds of dollars on this. Do I wish it was a $500 Cardo that could mix sound and talking? Sure. It doesn't. It does one thing at a time. Kind of been really good. I've been very happy with them, and we've been using them for 7 or 8 years now. So if you're looking for a cheap, inexpensive headset, this is what I recommend. There is a slightly newer model of this now with mesh. I know it connects to their own mesh. I don't know if it connects to any other. Hey there, I am a new YouTuber, and it would really help me out if you would just take a second and click that subscribe button, or even give me a like. It really helps little channels like myself. Thanks. These are the newer camera models. So I started with this one. This is the R1, the R1 Plus actually. It has a camera built in, and it basically works the same as my old T-Max. It's got a jog dial. It's got some buttons here, and FM radio still connect to 6 people, but it does record 1080p. It has a microphone on the bottom, so you get wind noise and engine noise. It's not great, frankly, but it doesn't pick up what you're saying in your helmet. But, if you wanted inexpensive dash cam, essentially, this is a great unit. Like, it'll record for 6 hours on a 128 gig card. Like, a long time. battery runs out before the memory does. So really 128 gig card, probably 2 or 3 days. What I didn't like was I couldn't record my voice in the helmet, and this lens is fixed. So it's fine when it's on a full face helmet because it's on a little bit of an angle like this. But if you put it on a full face or a half helmet, the image is tilted and you can't fix it. So that was the only downside of that. Otherwise, the video quality was good. Never had an issue with it. My video going out east was recorded with this. So if you look at my Halifax PEI video, recorded with this camera. So not bad. The newer one is the R3. There is an R3 Pro out now. It's slightly different, but much larger lens, and you can tilt it. So it's not a huge amount of tilt, but it is enough to fix the side of the helmet or half helmet. You can fix that. I find it's a little better storing the video, so the video is a little bit more compressed. Video quality is now 2K. It can record in your helmet, so you have an option of, there's a little microphone here on the back for outside of your helmet, or you can record what's going on in your helmet. It does not record the other people in your chat. I would like to see that maybe, but it doesn't do that. So if you were going to do YouTube videos, like I do, you can do your YouTube video or you can talk to your friends. I don't like doing both at the same time because then you have half of a conversation. But also really good video on that. Still has the FM radio, still connects to your phone. You can play music off your phone. You could hook it to like a Garmin GPS and have GPS directions and so on, because it'll connect to two separate Bluetooth devices at the same time. Along with the FX, you can do music sharing. So like my wife could play music off her phone and then share it to mine. That's instead of talking. We tend not to do that. We tend to just all talk in a group, honestly. But it is something that you can do. What I would change on this, I would like to see one button record, where I can just press it and it starts recording with the last settings that I had. I would like to see only record in the helmet, because I never record outside of the helmet. The audio quality is okay, but it's like there's no point, in my opinion. I would like it to record the other half of the group communication. And I want to try one of their mesh units, but my friend just bought one of these that's a Pro. I think it has mesh. If that works like I expect, where you can just be in any order in the group kind of thing, that would be really, really good. I have done 6 people in a group. It does get a little bit spotty, but it does work. But the distance really is quite good. Like a kilometer is a long way. Like, major city block kind of thing. And, I think that's pretty reasonable for distance, because maybe you miss someone at a street light kind of thing, but you can still talk, and then it starts to get a little garbled. Instantly reconnects once they get back. You don't have to touch anything. You don't have to do anything. All of them will answer phone calls. I have talked to people wearing a full face helmet, but I have talked to people while I was riding and they didn't know I was on a motorcycle. So they couldn't hear any wind noise, they couldn't hear anything, just me talking, and I was going 100 kilometers an hour on the highway. So like highway speed. So their noise cancellation is very, very good. I think the price really is amazingly reasonable, and there's lots of options to choose from. I would say stick you know, with like the FX and the Hero and the new mesh units if you can. I'm not a big fan of the T-Com. It's been out for 20 years. I think it's way out of date. And it only connects to 3 units. And there are some that are green colored, like the T-Max with green, or KY, but not KY Pro, that don't connect to other units. So you have to be a little careful with that. But as long as it says it connects to other units, it will connect to my R3, my R1 Plus, my wife's FX, my friend's T-Max, because I passed that on to another new rider friend of mine, you know, and we can all chit-chat all at the same time like we're in a big group call. So I think this is sort of the hidden secret of motorcycling cheaply, and I think it's pretty reasonable because, like, really, I couldn't see spending $500 on a headset plus $500 for my wife plus convince all my friends to spend $500. Like, I think that's too much money for what you're getting. And really, the audio quality's been really good on these. I don't have any complaints. I think the music sounds good. The phone calls are reasonable. So this is the kind of stuff you get. This is the FX. Again, nice little unit, nice and thin, mounts on your helmet. You can mount it on with a clip mount. So this would just clip onto the side of your helmet. You can stuff it up basically between the liner and the helmet. And a little bit of rubber here keeps it in place. You can 3M tape it if you would rather. I like 3M taping them because honestly, I stick it up a little bit higher just so then the cords don't hit your shoulder. And then we have the, I bought spares obviously. This is the speakers. They're reasonably thin. 40 mil, I believe. You can get it with a boom mic, or this disconnects. And then you have for your full face helmet, you have just a little tiny microphone. Just, you know, tuck it just inside the front face of the helmet. This is good for modular or open face helmets. I have it just sticking out just slightly on my modular helmet, and then I can still close my lid and so on. Obviously comes with charging cable and came with Velcro pads, so you could attach it to the inside of your helmet. This is always a pain in the ass. Always. Doesn't matter if you buy a Sena or a Freedconn or you know, whatever. You know, you got to put the speakers basically in the right spot. You run the cable up over top of your head. You tuck in all the little bits and so on. And then I just have this nice little sort of armored cable sticking out, and that plugs into the bottom of the unit. Not like that, like this. And good waterproof connection. I have been in torrential downpours with this. Never had an issue with the units getting wet or not working or whatever. Battery life as well. I don't know if it says on here what my battery life is. Says it is an 1100 milliamp hour. Honestly, I find that goes about 3 days on a trip. So you don't have to charge it all the time. Same with these. I find the battery, it turns off the recording when you get to about 50% battery. So you could still go the rest of the day even though it's not recording, like video. But easily you can go multiple days kind of thing, or 2 days maybe, without charging it if you're not doing the video recording. And sometimes I do that. Sometimes I just have the unit on but don't have the video recording. But they do make for a good dash camera, essentially, if something were to happen. Anyway, so like I said, this one I did my out east video with the R1 Plus. And then the R3, the video of going down to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and the Tail of Dragon and that whole excitement, that was done with the R3. And all the most recent stuff is my R3. So anyway, I highly recommend this if you are a cheap biker like I am and, you know, sort of stunned by the Cardo and Sena pricing, hundreds of dollars for a headset. I think this is a great alternative, honestly. I think it's a very reasonable price, and I think you should consider it. Certainly more so than, I don't know, I've seen a lot of other Chinese brands, but Freedconn, like I said, it's been, I think, 8 years now we've been using Freedconn, and they're very consistently good products, and highly recommend. I bought them on Aliexpress. I will put some links if you'd like, but like you could buy a pair of FX for your wife and yourself for $100 and something, 120, $130, something like that, Canadian. So quite reasonable. Less than that American, obviously. I think it's something you should consider. Honestly, I don't like buying these on Amazon. I think they're not as good when you buy them on Amazon. I've had friends buy them on Amazon and their range isn't as good. So I don't know if I'm getting sort of gray market, higher powered units or something when I get them right from China, but they do seem to be better. But they do have, you know, CE markings and all of the stuff like that on them. But I don't know. I find they're better when I get them from AliExpress. So, all right, I got the helmets out. So this is what they sound like. They're a little Chinese when they start up, but you know, whatever.
To use Freedconn product. Battery full. Pairing.
All right, so it is in pairing mode, and then I just press one of the buttons, one of the power buttons, and give it a minute. Search network.
Intercom connected.
There we go. And then, like, you can talk back and forth, and you should be able to hear me okay on that, I would think. But yeah, basically works like that. And then if you wanted to stop talking,
Intercom disconnected. Turn on the radio. Previous channel.
there we go. So like we can go through radio stations. I'm just pressing the top buttons up here.
Previous channel.
Here's Leonard Bernstein. His
I
composition
find it a
called
little
Elegy,
confusing because
MIPI-2,
it's
Previous channel.
the forward button is previous channel, but
Pause the radio.
and then if I want to connect to my phone, I can do that as well.
Connected.
There we go. So connected, and then typically I have just a music player with music on my phone, but you know. Okay, so we got some music, and then that's just music on my phone, but you know, I could turn on, I don't know, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, whatever, Ariana Grande. So yeah, so whatever. But yeah, so it connects to your phone, it connects to radio. You can talk to other users, up to 6 people. I haven't tried more than that, honestly, because usually it's a friend or two, plus maybe my wife on the back of the bike, and, you know, 3 of us. You know, sometimes my buddy and I talk and Joanne's connected, but she just disconnects and listens to music or whatever, and just connects when, hey, like, can we stop and get some